Hare Hare Premanandi. Jai Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Pravajikacharya Ashwara Srimati Srivengri Vechanaranda Bhaktivedanta Vishnu Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya, BBD founder Acharya, savior of the Holy Guru Vishnu Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Pravajikacharya Ashwara Srimati Srivengri bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Maharaj Goswami Vishnu Prabhupada Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi. Okay, there's a kids program happening down. The kids can all actually assemble there. Who is taking care? Somebody is there? Kids can actually go there. We'll have some games down for the kids. Anybody needs translation? Kannada? Kannada tal anuvada beka yargadru? I'll speak in English. Anybody needs translation? Hindi, Telugu, Kannada? No? All English okay? Very good. Our congregation became more westernized. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Savitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Kavitam Sa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Bhashyata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Can the curtain be opened? Is it sunny? No, it's fine. Can we get Bhaktisiddhanta Thakura outside? Yeah. No, I mean, it can be closed because it's sunny, but can you get Bhaktisiddhanta Thakura on the altar? How many of you here know who is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur? Some of you know. Okay. He is the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada. His guru. He is Param Guru. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He is also called Simha Guru. Today is his appearance day. Avirbhav. He appeared in the year, anyone remembers? 1874 AD. We'll try to remember him because he's a very special personality. Of all, he gave us Srila Prabhupada. If he had not actually come, we wouldn't have Srila Prabhupada. If Srila Prabhupada had not come, we won't be sitting here and talking these things. So he is so important for us. And he's such a powerful personality. It's also, this book actually is a very nice book. It's called The Ray of Vishnu. You know, Ray of Vishnu. Vishnu's body effulgence. Effulgence, you know what effulgence is? These are like a lot of English words. Lights. Then you actually see the Bollywood movie, when you actually have God coming, then you have a lot of light, no? That light. Right? That's called one ray of Vishnu. It's just one ray of Vishnu. It's so powerful. Imagine how powerful Vishnu should be. And Vishnu is just an amsha of Krishna. Imagine how powerful Krishna should be. So we'll try to understand a little about whatever you heard from Srila Prabhupada about this wonderful personality. Because Srila Prabhupada always called him a Vaikuntha man. He's not an ordinary pound and shilling man. He's called a Vaikuntha man. He's from Vaikuntha. His appearance is a very, very peculiar activity. Why did he appear? We'll try to cover this. First, we'll actually try to understand his appearance from book knowledge. And also, I'll try to share some of the pastimes that he had. How did he preach? What did he do? And by praying to him, it is so wonderful for us. Because always understand, who is more merciful, father or grandfather? Grandfather. Right? We all know that, right? We have experienced that grandfather is more merciful. Right? So, I will share a pastime on this. Srila Prabhupada had a lot of disciples, right? So, one day, one of the disciples had cooked upma for Prabhupada. But Prabhupada was actually discussing with some devotees, and in that discussion there was very heated argument between Prabhupada and other disciples. So when time came for prasadam, so this devotee sent upma. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj, one of the senior sannyasis, brought the upma to Prabhupada. Prabhupada saw this and then took a little bit and said, he doesn't want to eat. So this devotee who had cooked, actually I put so much of, devotion. He was thinking Prabhupada is going to actually have this food, so it should be very tasty. So he actually taken ghee, everything he chopped. It took so much time. He made all these things, but Prabhupada did not eat it. So he felt very bad. So what he did, he actually went to the picture of Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. He was sitting there and praying. I'm so fallen. Your disciple doesn't even want to actually take whatever I'm cooking. How can I perfect my life? In such a fallen condition, is there any hope for me to go back to Godhead? Is there any hope for me to go back to Vishnu? No, I'm condemned. My life is useless. So he kept on saying like this. He was condemning himself and crying. Genuinely was crying, very sincerely. Not like crocodile tears. Right? Not like superficially. So when he did that, about half an hour later, Tamal Krishna Maharaj came to him. And Prabhupada is calling. So bring that upma also along with you. So when they said, I don't know what he's going to do. First of all, maybe he will come and tell me why he did not eat the upma, what mistake I made. And he was in that kind of a mood. He went there. Prabhupada actually took the bowl of upma, ate everything. And he told, next time you want me to feed something, you tell me directly. Don't go and tell my spiritual master. Because my spiritual master will become angry, right? Like, why are you actually treating my grand disciple like this? Treat with respect, right? So that's why the grandfathers are always very cool in the modern language. Very nice they are. So Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur is our guru's guru, right? Great grand guru. So he's extremely merciful. And since he is actually so dear to Krishna, if you please him, there is actually a hope that we will please Krishna, right? So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, if you see in the parampara here, right, the leftmost is actually Srila Jayapataka Maharaj, then there is Srila Prabhupada. After Srila Prabhupada, there is actually the Guru Parampara, again Prabhupada, then Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, then Gaur Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj, then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, then Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. It's good to know these people, because if you go to the spiritual world, someone has to identify you, oh, you are my person, right? So you should know them. It's good to know the parampara. So this Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he actually made sure that this whatever movement what we are trying to follow was started by whom? Who started this movement? Hare Krishna movement. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He himself, Krishna himself came and gave this mantra, right? He gave the Harinam mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He made all the lions, tigers, deers all cry by chanting the holy name. But that information, whatever he had given, that knowledge was lost. It was actually lost. Because the parampara actually had broken because of the effect of Kali Yuga. Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur came after nearly 350 years. So 350, 400 years when he came, he saw that everything is actually used, what you call being practiced hodgepodge. Hodgepodge means people used to call I am actually a gopi. Men used to wear the saris. And they said like actually I am a gopi, Krishna is actually a gopa. And they were crazy actually, they were doing all these things. A lot of upper sampradayas had come. People actually, those who are educated, thought these people are crazy. Right? And that was actually, they are crazy. They had become like that. Right? So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he understood and he re-established everything. He got the plan what he is supposed to do. He in fact found the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. He got everything. Everything was ready, but he couldn't continue the movement because he was already old. So he prayed to Krishna, Jagannath. He was the magistrate in the government of British. Right? He was staying in Puri, Jagannath Puri. How many of you know Jagannath Puri? Been to Jagannath Puri? It's a nice place. You should actually go one day. So, Lord Chaitanya, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was praying to Jagannath Ji that send me one of your representatives. It's not easy for me to actually establish this movement what Lord Chaitanya did. You are Krishna, you will do anything. I am not like that, I can't do this. So I need help. Send me somebody who is an empowered incarnation. Someone who is empowered by you. Only then they can actually do something. Then Jagannath Ji told Bhaktivinoda Thakur in dream, you pray to Bimala Devi. There is a temple of Bimala Devi in Jagannath Puri, inside Jagannath Puri only. Inside the Jagannath temple there is Bimala Devi. Bimala Devi is Parvati. Right? But she is a devotee of Vishnu there. Yes, the past time of why Bimala Devi came there. We will not cover that now. Okay? So Bimala Devi, so Bhaktivinoda Thakur started praying to Bimala Devi. Jagannath told me to pray to you, I am praying you, send me someone. So on the day of the Rath Yatra, when is that? July, right? But these Rath Yatras in those days were at different times. Now they made it standard of July. That time it actually happened in the month of February. It was happening in the month of February. So Jagannath's cart goes from Jagannath Mandir to Gundicha Mandir. It's a big road. They actually pull the Rath and go. So many people, you can see in the TV. If you go there, it will be nice. So when they're doing that, the Jagannath cart stopped in front of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house for 3 days. The cart did not move. They pulled everything. Elephants came and moved, pushed. The cart did not move. Jagannath Ji was sitting. Baldev and Subhadramai went off, but Jagannath did not move. They tried for 3 days. 3 days, imagine. They tried on pulling. No way it could move. Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur immediately understood the Lord wants to see the newborn child. The child was born that time, 6th February 1874 at 3:30 p.m. The time is mentioned. So his wife, that is Vimala Devi's mother, Bhagavati, who is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's wife, took the baby on the cart and placed the baby in front of Jagannath Ji. So huge garland fell on the baby. Haribol. So immediately Bhaktivinoda Thakur understood, this is a child I have been praying for. Then they took the child back, and when the child came back, Jagannath got moved. That was indication. So those are things that were happening in the past. These days you will take it as a superstition, right? Coincidence, right? So anyway, so this happened. That is why Bhaktivinoda Thakur named his son as Vimala Prasad. Prasad of Vimala Devi. But eventually, he was initiated by Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, who was Bhaktivinoda Thakur's disciple. Bhaktivinoda Thakur did not take initiation from his own father. He learned the art of publishing, everything, the philosophy from Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but he did not take initiation from him. He took from his disciple, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, and he was named Sri Vashabhanavi Devi Daita Dasa. Meaning is Varshabhanavi means Srimati Radharani. Vrishabhanu is Srimati Radharani's father. Varshabhanavi is Srimati Radharani. Varshabhanavi Devi Daita. Daita means who is a servant of Dasa. That means Krishna, who is Srimati Radharani's servant, his servant. So that is why Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur used to, whenever as he grew up, his position was, he was always telling, I don't know who Krishna is. It's because Srimati Radharani likes Krishna, I have to do something for him. That was his mode, very exalted mode. We cannot actually imitate them. We have to understand we are servant of Krishna's servant, like that, right? He was so dedicated, even in his childhood. One time it so happened, they used to actually offer prasadam, like voga and then take. So one time there was mango, very ripened mango. You know, mango in India is very tasty, right? So when the mango was actually brought in, before it was offered, our Vimala Prasad took one and then bit. Small child, 5 years, picked up and ate. Bhaktivinoda Thakur scolded him, saying that this is not nice. You cannot actually eat food which is not offered to the Lord. How can you actually take a food which is not offered to the Lord? It's very unfair. So that hit his head so much. He decided, I am an offender, 5-year-old boy. I am an offender at the lotus feet of the Lord. I will never ever eat mangoes in my life. Imagine, it's so difficult, right? Mangoes are so tasty. If you actually cut it in the season, the smell goes inside. It's tough to stop. But he actually, even though his disciples in the later stage gave him ripened mangoes, offered him, he just used to keep like this and say, I'm an offender, I will not touch this. It's not for me. Give it to the Lord. So that was his move. That was his determination. He stayed a brahmachari all through his life. He was a sannyasi, but he stayed a brahmachari. He was not married. Such a determined person he is. He was so determined. That is why he is actually called the area of Vishnu. Because he re-established the whole thing just lost. He formed the Gaudiya Math, Chaitanya Math. The ISKCON, whatever we are following, is all actually his footsteps. Whatever he has actually established, Srila Prabhupada took that, then gave it to us. So that was his background. So he's not an ordinary person. Prabhupada always will say he's a Vaikuntha man. He came from Vaikuntha, so he cannot make any mistake like that, right? So we'll try to actually hear some of his pastimes, then you'll understand what kind of person he is. He's a very strict person. You can actually see his pictures and things like that. He used to sit very erect. You cannot relax, okay, however you are sitting. He used to sit very erect. If somebody actually sit like this, he used to call him Sri Sangi. One who is in the association of women. He used to actually be very heavy on this fact. In fact, one time they were actually traveling in train. A couple of brahmacharis were actually sitting on the, that time in the train you actually had the wooden benches. I don't know how many of you have seen that. This generation will not know that. Still there? Maybe in the local trains. So that wooden bench, right, it's very hard. So some of the brahmacharis, anyways, wooden is very hard. So they were actually sitting with their back rested. So he said, Sri Sangi. So he used to tell them like then go. They used to get scared. So he used to actually say words which are actually very provocative. Makes you think. Right? Makes you think so much that it's not a normal person. Why are you sitting like this? He used to say Sri Sangi. That means you actually are in weakness. You want association of women. You are a brahmachari. You are cheating the public. So he used to become very angry like that. So they were very scared. Why are you saying like this, Maharaj? We are not like that. Then why are you actually sitting like that? You want relaxing, the attitude to relax. Brahmacharis, if they relax, the public will not like. So you have to be strict. Otherwise, change your ashram. Be a grahastha. Right? If you are a brahmachari, you have to be very strict. So he used to be like that. Very, very serious mindset. And invariably he used to actually find some kind of fault like this for the benefit of the individual. He used to find, we can call it as fault, but he used to actually correct the devotees so that they are actually in the right track. But in general, we should be very careful not to find fault. If you find fault with others, it's very, very dangerous. this fault finding is a very, very natural thing for us. Right? You always find faults. I will tell you one story. One time, I just recently saw this video. There was once eagle carrying a snake. The eagle was carrying a snake. The snake was dead. Right? The snake was dead. The eagle was carrying it. But from the mouth of the snake, there was poison dripping. And down, there was a king who was distributing prasadam, whatever, food for everyone. So one of them actually was taking the food, and one drop of that poison fell. He ate and he died. So who is responsible for the death? Is the king responsible? Did the king know that this is there? No. Is the snake responsible? The snake was dead. It's already dead, no? So it doesn't know, it's done. Eagle responsible? The eagle had no clue. It didn't know that it was actually poison was dropping. So, someone has to be blamed. Right? Who is the cause for the death of who was eating? So, the Yamadutas came. They wanted to find some reason who is supposed to be the reason for this. They were going around here and there. So when they were walking around here and there, they found a old lady there. The old lady, and then they asked, let's find out, the king should be the culprit. The king is supposed to take the blame. If some problem happens in the king is responsible. So they asked the lady, where does the king stay? So the lady saw and told them, he stays in that palace, but be careful. He is known to poison people. Immediately these Yamadutas caught hold of this old lady and said, you are the killer. That is why it's mentioned in the Bhagavatam. There is a shloka in Bhagavatam. It says, if you find fault with somebody, if they are faulty, and you say they have made a mistake, you get 1/4 of the karma. If you find a person who is faultless and tell them he is faulty, 100% of the karma comes to you. It's that dangerous. That's why one should be very careful not to find fault. People have no clue about all these things. It's there in the Shastra. They don't. Right? So, but Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur was not that kind of fault finder. He used to correct people so that they will be in the right track. They will actually not deviate. Right? So there are so many instances like this, so many stories like this mentioned, which tells us one has to be careful in the human form of life. Because if you make a mistake, you just go and say, oh, this fellow, he made a mistake and things like that. Then you get karma for it. And if it's something that is not done, you tell them that person is wrong, difficult. Then should we not find fault at all? No? You can find fault, but then you should discuss that only with your counselor, who is your authority, so that you understand how to behave. You should not go and tell 500 people saying that, oh, that person did this mistake like that. Then it's very dangerous. You can find fault, but you should discuss it only with your authority. Why? So that you get corrected. Whether what you did is wrong or right, how should I behave? If you don't have an authority, then you are called anatha. Anatha. Means nobody is there for you. And if you actually have an authority who can guide you and help you towards Krishna, who is Raman, the spiritual master, you are called as Sanatha. Sanatha means eternally you will be in shelter. Right? So these are actually Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur actually used to give a lot of small stories to make general public understand. This is one of them. So one time he was actually seeing a sannyasi sitting and sleeping. He was just sitting like this and dozing. He was very tired. Because in ISKCON, no? What time do they wake up? 3:45? 3:45? Okay. 3 o'clock? Yeah, like 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And this time is like unheard of. 3 o'clock, who can get up? Right? But then in ISKCON they actually get up. They get up early in the morning. Who gets up first? Especially in the Brahmachari ashram, they have the Aaj mein utha, 2 baje ko utha. Then 5:30 you have finished Tulsi Aarti, Vrindaya, Tulsi Devaya. Flat there. Somebody has to wake up, So wake up because they're flat, right? And then it's so cold in the morning, and you do namaskar there and then sleep off, right? So they wake you up. So because they wake up early, by 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning itself, they'll feel sleepy. So one sannyasi was sitting and dozing. So Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, he came and told him, get up. So he didn't get up. So he was going, he said, anyways, you are worse than a prostitute. So he makes like this, you are worse than a prostitute. Immediately the sannyasi got like, Maharaj, why are you comparing me with a prostitute? So Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said, a prostitute is at least in the mode of passion. She is actually like, she's very lusty, that way she is able to manage. You are in the mode of ignorance. You are sleeping. Ignorance is better than passion. Ignorance is worse than passion. So the Rabbi commented like this and went. So that's why he used to make people think. It was very, very innovative way. But he used to actually give this kind of messages, right? So that people become very strict about spiritual life. Because it's not easy to go back to Godhead. And Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur made sure that everyone becomes very strict. His mood was about strictness. The moment you hear about Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, strictness, very strict he is. So that was one of those he used to make sure that everyone sits straight in the class and things like that. If somebody used to bend like this, he used to comment, right? So he knew what people were thinking. But if somebody is actually really having a kind of disease and they were actually sitting like that, he knew just because of his spiritual position, he never used to bother. But if somebody was becoming lazy, he used to point out and say like that. One time there was one sannyasi who used to stay outside. Even in the cold weather, he used to actually sleep on the ground outside the temple. All the devotees were glorifying him like anything. So detached he is. We have such a place inside. He is sleeping outside, right? So this message went to Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur did not bother much. So it was one day, it was very, very cold. And they all called Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, look Maharaj, he is actually sleeping outside in spite of being cold. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur did not bother. He just told him, he is just conditioned by that, that's all. Ask him to come and sleep inside, he cannot sleep. He is just conditioned. A devotee is not conditioned to sleep outside or inside. Whatever Krishna provides, he just accepts it and he is happy with that. Right? So this was something like unheard of, because in the olden days, if somebody is very austere, everyone glorified, oh, such a great person. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur was, and he was the first one who used like a car and things like that, and he used to go in Rolls Royce. Sannyasi used to go in Rolls Royce and then go to different temple, and then he used to take parikram, things like that. So he was so focused on that. And one time there was a debate going on. That time actually, in the early 1900s, there were a lot of this war and things like that, like the World War planning and things like that. When somebody actually came to ring the bell, temple bell. So he said, ringing a bell is better than opening hundreds of hospitals. Many people open hospitals, right? That is Jana Seva, Janardhan Seva, kind of like. He said it's waste. Somebody who is ringing the bell is far better than somebody who opens a hospital for the public, for the poor. What do you think? Difficult to understand, no? Someone who is actually helping so many people, the world. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said they are actually not that useful. Somebody who is actually ringing a bell is far more advanced. So devotees were actually surprised. How is that possible? So unless we understand this personality, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, our so-called following of Krishna consciousness will be very superficial. We'll think whatever I'm doing is actually correct. It's not true. There are a lot of things actually he gave which actually makes us think. He said, is someone who actually is ringing the bell for the satisfaction of Vishnu. He just, because he's remembering Vishnu and saying he's ringing the bell, he pleases Vishnu. Someone who is actually opening a lot of hospital for the poor, without understanding that actually everything belongs to Krishna, Vishnu, it's all just karmic activity. So he will just continue his life, birth after birth. But this person who rang the bell will go closer towards Krishna. So who is more advanced? In the cycle of eternity, who is more advanced? The one who rings the bell? That's what he meant. In fact, he actually even said, when you go to the temple, we go to temple, no? All of us, anybody here who doesn't go to temple at all? You all go, no? Scared? Scared? No? We all go, right? So when you go to the temple, we pay obeisance to the Lord. Do you take darshan of the Lord? We all take darshan of the Lord? Yes. Right? But Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said, you don't take darshan of the Lord. Actually, the Lord takes darshan of you. The Lord sees you. Yes, the Lord actually sees you. That is why he is called the seer. You are not the seer of the Lord. What can you see with your flesh eyes? The eyes which is made of matter. What can you see about the Lord? If the Lord sees you, then your heart will get purified. See the difference? So these normal people can't understand these things. It's very difficult for normal public to understand these things. Only a devotee of the Lord can appreciate what it really means, because you have to behave in a way the Lord wants to see you. Correct? We should behave in our life in such a way that God wants to see us. Wow, what a person this person is. I want to see him. Because he sees still. You see the difference? Right? So that such mentality is what actually introduced. Srila Prabhupada took that and then gave that information to us in ISKCON. That is why normal people who chant Hare Krishna without understanding what Krishna consciousness is all about cannot go back to God easily. In fact, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur was the first one who said, without doing Jiva Daya. What is Jiva Daya? Anyone knows? Jiva Daya? Jiva Daya. Jiva Daya? Mercy. Daya means mercy. Jiva Daya means mercy towards living entities. Unless one actually have this attitude of saving others from a cycle of death, birth and death. What does it mean? Saving from others from a cycle of birth and death means? Preaching. Without giving this knowledge to others, one cannot go back to Godhead. One cannot go back to Godhead. Krishna is not pleased. No matter you might be chanting 600 rounds a day. Still, did you give this mercy to others? When you start giving this mercy to others, you become dear to Krishna. So Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur actually said these things are very important. Then you will become selfless. When you preach to others, obviously you become selfless. Right? Very heavy? Very heavy? We are not used to this, right? But actually, you should read this book, The Way of Vishnu. It's a very, very wonderful book. In fact, there is a 3-volume book written by His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, which is called bhaktisiddhanta Vaibhava. It's an amazing set of book. There's so many wonderful instructions actually given by Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. It's really amazing. If you read the kind of pastimes, in fact, it opens your eyes understanding what Krishna consciousness is all about. While in one side, Krishna is extremely merciful, but in other side, Krishna is not all that merciful. He demands a lot. He expects us to be very, very focused in serving Him. Simply you take it for granted, Krishna will take care, Krishna will take care, He will take care of Himself, not us. Right? So Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur used to actually give this in different ways, different stories, so that people can easily understand. He is not actually an ordinary person, and that is why nobody actually talks too much about him, because he is a very, very strict Acharya, and because of him we are actually today here. It is his prayers. In fact, Prabhupada, when he started the movement, Prabhupada used to say, actually I am completely unqualified to actually start this movement. It's because he is desired that, and because he is desired that, he is sending people. All the hippies, you know who hippies are? Hippies are basically those Drug addicts, yeah, they actually, what can they do for the society? Nothing. Such people became devotees, and they actually are.
People who can't help themselves.
Yeah, they can't help themselves. Very good. They can't. Take care of themselves, and they are actually becoming leaders of the society. Prabhupada himself was amazed. Like, this is all my spiritual masters are sending these people to help me. They are such amazing people. But then Prabhupada, my spiritual master, Prabhupada is actually sending these people to me. So such wonderful personality is Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. So when we actually have, of course we are all, although he is very, very strict, what are we to him? What is our relationship to him? Great grand disciples. So he is very merciful to us. He doesn't see our superficial difficulties. He just says, okay. In fact, there are so many stories like this. One time, our Tamal Krishna Maharaj tells this. Tamal Krishna Maharaj actually went through an operation in the year 1976, hernia operation. So he was actually in anesthesia, and then he had a dream. So in the dream, Prabhupada is actually reporting to all the acharyas. Prabhupada is standing with his hands, and all the acharyas, including Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, they are all sitting there, and Prabhupada is telling, there is nobody here who understands philosophy. They absolutely don't know what Krishna consciousness is. If at all somebody understands little bit of what Krishna consciousness is, Tamal Krishna. But they have only one good quality. But if I tell them to cut their neck, they will cut. They are very attached to me. And all the acharyas tell, that's all we want. If they are attached to you, we will deliver them. Haribol. So, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, after he came out of the operation, he went to Prabhupada. And he told Prabhupada, nothing, no problem. As usual. He went to Prabhupada and told Prabhupada, is it true? Is it true that I had this dream? Did you go and report this to your previous acharyas? Prabhupada said, yes, that happened. Now, how did I come to know about this? Prabhupada said, I don't know. Maybe the Lord wants you to know. That's it. So he didn't actually explain why did he come to know. But Prabhupada did mention that if somebody is attached to him, for them, this process of Krishna consciousness is very easy. Somehow or other the Lord will take care. Because not whatever I am explaining, you'll be thinking, this is not for me. This is not for me, Baba. I am actually not like this. The Lord knows that. He wants us sincerity. He just wants us to be sincere in our capacity. In fact, you will understand he had 5,000 sannyasi disciples. His disciples means all were sannyasis. He was so strict. Only sannyasis could manage. He didn't have many grihastha disciples. Very few were there. And the grihastha disciples were as good as sannyasis. In fact, the husband and wife will go, the husband will give the entire salary what he has got to Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. And Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur will look at the housewife and say, Mata, how much do you want for running your house? And she will tell this taka, some 10 taka, 20 taka, something like that. Bengali, right? So, and he used to give them 2 takas extra. Enough? That's all. Everything else actually was given to the spiritual master. That was a life that the grihasthas had. These days we'll put 100 rupees or 200 rupees on lunch or on dinner we'll sponsor. We will eat nicely, but then we actually have that mentality, right? It's mine, what can I give it to the Lord? But then their disciples were all like so dedicated that they always thought this money belongs to my spiritual master. And I am using my spiritual master's money. Right? So it's all the mentality. In a society, if everyone thinks like that, we will also become like that. Right? That was long ago. These days it's difficult, but at least we can get inspiration of what this kind of spiritual master he was. Amazing personality. In fact, Prabhupada, first time when he saw, actually said, this person really is an amazing person. First time. Prabhupada writes. In fact, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur translated many books, and then one book was Brahma Samhita. How many have read the Brahma Samhita? Yeah, I couldn't understand head or tail of it. What it is, right? Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Guna Swarupam. The translation, the self-contradictory form of Shama Sundara. What does it mean? Form is there, but then it's formless. This is too much. I can't understand what this is. Actually,
After a few slokas, you can't proceed.
yeah, I can't proceed. It's very difficult. And Prabhupada's disciple asked Prabhupada, your spiritual master wrote this, but nobody understands this. And Prabhupada responded back, he wrote that only for me. Only I could understand this. But Prabhupada understood the essence of that and gave it to us. But he didn't translate that. He said, let it be like amazing book that is actually. It's one of the important books that Lord Chaitanya got from the Tirubhatta Radhikeshwar temple from Trivandrum. So that actually gives the conclusion about who Brahma is, who Lord Shiva is. Because sometimes people say Lord Shiva is supreme, Ganesh is supreme. That book actually gives very conclusive truth. It's written by Lord Brahma himself, right? So that was one of those instances when Prabhupada said to the disciples what his mood about Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur was. So many instances actually Prabhupada used to share that how he felt about his spiritual master. He always said, wherever I go, my spiritual master is always with me. He's never left me alone. He's watching me, he's with me all the time. So we should also feel that our spiritual master Prabhupada is always with us. And even if you go through difficult times, like Prabhupada had heart attacks, right? All alone at the age of 69. Imagine, alone, heart attacks. And Srila Prabhupada actually did not lose courage. He knew his spiritual master is with him all the time. If spiritual master wants him to die, he will die. That was his dedication, commitment. So to come to that, in fact, when I was actually translating some of this, I send out this Prabhupada nectar every day. So I was saying one of this anecdote. Srila Prabhupada's passport, actually there's a father's name, right? Prabhupada actually had written the late Sri Srimad, His Divine Grace, bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. Unless until you have that kind of a courage, can you change your father's name? How many of us feel comfortable to change our father's name and put somebody else's? Of course, Guru Maharaj also is very dear to us. Can we put somebody else's name? Your father is still father, right? He had that kind of relationship with Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. Prabhupada put in passport, he was not bothered. He had put in passport Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur name as his father's name. It's amazing personality. So, I think we have time, some more pastimes is here. But these pastimes actually, you might find it like you've never heard this kind of pastime. But he is actually a Vaikuntha man, right? So he will behave in a very high class level. He's not an ordinary, okay. It was like Prabhupada used to make fun. One time, Prabhupada's pastimes are like very attractive for conditioned souls. This, for Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur's classes, or he never used to cut any jokes. He never actually made any jokes in his life. He was such a serious person. But Prabhupada was so attached to him. And Prabhupada gave us so many stories and things like that. He gave so many, jokes for us to appreciate. Right? Otherwise, Bhagavatam class is boring. Right? Sometimes it's too much of philosophy, man. Sometimes, some speaker comes with big nail. As soon as you sit in the Vyasasana, he's going to hit a big nail on our head. So when you end like that, you feel that, right? Prabhupada actually gave a lot of these small jokes, right? You all know many of these small jokes. But Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur never used to actually cut jokes. Never spoke to any woman in a frivolous way, in a very joking way. In fact, Prabhupada says, one time when he was advanced, he was maybe in his late 50s. One young lady, her husband had come. The young lady actually told Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur that I want to talk to you in private. I want to tell something. He said, no, you tell here only. Because her husband also was there and Prabhupada was also sitting, you tell here only. Prabhupada tells, my spiritual master she was as good as a grandchild. But still, he was so strict. He would never talk or even smile at a woman. He was that strict. He was very clear why he came for and then what his mission was. His mission was to make sure that the Krishna consciousness movement becomes very, very strong. And he created such an environment so that Srila Prabhupada could come and establish this. Srila Prabhupada established ISKCON, the groundwork was done by Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. If he had not actually really set that kind of a platform, when we sing the Samsara Dava, all this Radha Madhav, he only actually introduced everything to Prabhupada. But Prabhupada put it in a way that we can take it. He brought and said ISKCON bullets, right? You know what ISKCON bullets is? Rasgulla? Gulab Jamun. Prabhupada used to actually make this small Gulab Jamun and called it ISKCON bullet. So what does it do, this bullet? If you eat it, what happens? Does anyone know? Why is it called ISKCON bullets? Kills, yes. What does it kill? Demonic mentality. Yes, Maya. If you are in Maya, sometimes when Prabhupada actually started the movement in 1967, who were the disciples, first followers? Hippies. Hippies are drug addicts. And sometimes they go wild. They have a shortcut or what do they call? Short circuit. Right? They actually have a short circuit in the brain. They come and cry, Prabhupada, I can't survive, Prabhupada, I'm gone. Say, go and take one ISKCON bullet. They'll go and take one or two and then it's like normal, peaceful. So, because Prabhupada used to make this jamun so carefully and offer to Krishna with love, the Lord used to empower those bullets so carefully. So Prabhupada used to actually feed these bullets with that. So many people became devotees. They ate these bullets and became very strict devotees. And Prabhupada said, take more. And when he got initiated, Prabhupada said, you should not be eating so much. You should not be eating so much. You are a sannyasi, and how can you eat so much of sweet like this? But Prabhupada, you told, you can eat as much as you want at that time because I was hiring. Now you are serious devotees. You have to control your tongue. You can't just go on eating all the time. So Prabhupada actually gave that kind of fun aspect in life. But Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, that's why you see even Shukadeva Goswami in the Bhagavatam, who speaks Bhagavatam? How many jokes are there in that?
0.
No jokes, very serious. In fact, but Shukadeva Goswami, actually Parikshit Maharaj also is like us only, right? He also gets bored after some time. So much of philosophy will give Shukadeva Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj will sit like this, and then suddenly he will tell one story. He will say that Muni actually went here, and because of this he got a head of a goat. Then immediately he will wake up, what is the story? So he used to put little bit of story, little bit of philosophy. Little bit of story, little bit of philosophy. So he put interspersed, right? So that way, the whole Bhagavatam is like that. But there are no jokes. There are hardly any jokes in Bhagavatam. But Prabhupada actually introduced a lot of jokes. So that his followers actually will start the same mentality. But in general, to become serious in Krishna consciousness, it's important. But that doesn't mean that you should not joke. Just that we should become more and more serious, sincere. One time, that point in time, there was a finance minister or home minister by name Madan Mohan Malviya. I don't know if any of you heard about one Madan Mohan Malviya, very old person, right? So he went to Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. He understood this person is very spiritual. I think those days everyone was little spiritual. More or less in India, everyone was little religious. So he went to Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur and asked a very complex question. What is this, what is that, and things like that. And Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur did not answer. He said, they need some help in the DT room. Can you actually go and then wash some pots? So he went and then started doing. Because Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said, you go and finish that and come, then I'll tell you. So he washed that for about 1 hour and came. Then Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur asked him, yes, tell me what is your question. Madan Mohan Malviya said, I understood the answer. I got the answer correctly. I don't need to actually hear. I said, oh, how? Then Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur says, Krishna's name and form is not easy to understand. There's a shloka there. Atasya Krishna namadi na bhaved grahyam indreyi sevon mukhe hijuvado swayam eva spuratiyata. It's a very important shloka. It's there in the Upadeshamrita. It's basically Lord Rupa Goswami writes this, saying that Atha Sri Krishna Nama Adi. That is, Krishna Nama Adi means starting with name. Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, then form, All these things are transcendental. It's very difficult to understand Krishna. Atha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grahyam indriya. With your grahya means senses. With this blunt senses like ears, eyes, one cannot understand Krishna. Then, how do we understand Krishna then? Sevon mukhehi jivha adav. Seva means start serving. By service to the Lord, starting with jivha. How do we use jivha in the service of the Lord? By chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and taking prasadam, honoring prasadam. So when you take prasadam of Krishna, then you start understanding who Krishna is. Till then you cannot. Theoretically you read any books, you will not be able to understand Krishna. You have to use your tongue. Jivva ado means starting with tongue. All the senses you have to serve in the service of the Lord. So when Madan Mohan Malviya served, the Lord revealed the answers to him. That's how it is. So that way we should actually serve as much as possible to serve the Lord. That much quickly you will understand who you are, who Krishna is, and what is the relationship. Otherwise, sitting at home, watching nice TV, what is going to come, World Cup coming, right? These are all not going to help understand Krishna. It can actually make you happy temporarily, but you cannot actually understand Krishna. So, couple of more stories. Okay. So one time, there's actually a nice book by bhaktisiddhanta. There are about 18 to 22 stories. This book is called Upadesha Upakhyane. It's a pretty nice book with a lot of stories. Only stories. A very interesting story. I'll tell you one story, depending on time. See. There was once a group of monkeys. These monkeys were always going and then invading all the forests, eating the fruits and things like that. They reached the palace of a king who had a garden, nice garden with so many mango trees and things like that. All the monkeys raided all the mangoes royally. They started eating. Monkeys do that. They'll eat nicely and poop wherever possible. That's all it does. So they started eating nicely. The king saw so many monkeys in his garden. All these people came and told these monkeys and all are destroying your garden. And the king said, it's okay, let it be there. I also like monkeys. It's not bad. It does some funny activities. It's nice to look at. But there was one sober monkey, one huge old monkey, sitting there and watching everything like this. He was not playing. All these monkeys were playing, eating and jumping around here and there. This monkey was watching all the time, looking around what is happening. So one day he called all the small monkeys. My dear friends, please come here. We should leave this place immediately. Said, what crazy award. You don't know how to enjoy Vishnu. So many trees are there, so many different kinds of gardens are there, so many plants are there. If you don't like mango, I get orange. If you don't like orange, I'll take apple. You sit and don't have any other work. The monkey said, no, I'm not talking about that. I see in a distance there, every day I see in the morning, one sheep is going inside. There's a kitchen. The sheep is going inside. And when he comes out, that cook takes this firewood with fire and tries to chase this sheep out. Maybe the sheep is going to eat the leftover vegetables there. Right? The sheep will go wherever that vegetable skin is there, is going to there. But then that cooking fellow, he doesn't like the sheep coming inside. He takes the firewood which is burning and tries to chase him away. Someday, it has fur, right? So it will catch fire. And that fellow will go into the stable where the horses are there. Look at the story. The monkey is telling. He will go into the stable where the horses are there. And the horses actually have a lot of this hay and things like that. It will catch fire. All the horses will get burned. And for the treatment, what they will use is they will kill all the monkeys. And the fat of monkey is actually the treatment for the burns on the horses. Because for the king, the horses are more important than all of you. So please, I'm telling you this will happen. Please listen to me. All the monkeys said, "Odd cock and bull story and all you tell. Who is going to listen to this? Someday one sheep is going to go here, it seems, this fellow is telling." So all of them said, made fun. But this elderly monkey said, "I am leaving. I know this is going to happen. I am not going to stay. Whoever wants can come with me." But eventually that same thing happened. All the monkeys were killed. So Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur used to quote this and say, a spiritual master, because of his vision, will tell something which makes no sense to us right now. But as a sincere disciple, one should try to follow that instruction. If you follow that instruction, you will be saved. Spiritual master will never tell something for his benefit. He will always think about the benefit of his disciple. So, like this, he used to give small stories. Very small stories to make sure that people understand the importance of spiritual life. Another time he also gave this example about a disciple. There is actually a philosophy saying that we should be like monkeys, monkey-like or a cat-like. Disciples should be like monkeys or cats. Heard about this story? No? You know how the baby monkey is carried? Is there no? How is the monkey carried? Stomach. Who holds the monkey? The baby will hold the monkey, the mother monkey. The mother monkey will be jumping, but this baby will be holding it tightly so that it will not fall down. Mother monkey won't care. She will jump here and there. You want to hold, right? And the cat, how does the cat carry the kitten? But who carries? Mother. So who is more careful in this? Cat. The cat actually carries the kitten very carefully, because the cat is taking responsibility for the kitten, whereas the monkey is not actually really taking that kind of interest. The child monkey has to hold. Similarly, there is a philosophy that once I have surrendered to Krishna, Krishna will take care. And there somebody says, no, we should actually always be strictly following everything. Krishna will not take care. So this is the philosophy. Sometimes people come and say, heard about this concept of prapatti? Sri Vaishnavas follow this principle, saying that once I have surrendered to the Lord will take care. So Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur used to refute that argument. The Lord will take care provided you behave like a kitten. If you behave like a kitten, cat will carry. If you are like a rat, why will the cat carry? Right?
Surrender completely.
You should be surrendered and you should have the mentality of surrender. Then it will work. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur says, we should be both. We should also do our part and also depend on the Lord so that He will carry us. Getting it? So both are very, very important for us. So a very simple example. But he used to give this kind of example and then explain. But there are no jokes here. But the instructions are so wonderful that it actually makes us realize that He is come simply for us. Otherwise He has no other interest to come to this world. Normally, why do we come here to this world? Enjoy, no? How many of you come here to enjoy? At least one of them raised no. We all want to enjoy. If I tell you no enjoyment, you are going to be here only chant Hare Krishna. 24 hours you chant Hare Krishna. How many of you will be there? Prabhu, I am coming. Where is it? Nobody will come. Right? Who will come? 16 rounds is like, oh, what? People actually pulling Krishna from root only. How much? One time you chant, 10 times you chant, 100 times you chant, 1,000 times and all. What? Mad or what? You know, crazy. People think like that, right? He came only to deliver us. Absolutely no other thought for him. He is not thinking about how he can be happy. What can he do to enjoy this world? He is only thinking about how to deliver conditioned souls. So he created everything for us to be delivered back to Krishna. Such is his personality. So we remember, how many of you remember Rajnikant? Once in a while, he gave a lot of fun. Some people like, okay, I don't know what to say. Let me remember some Buddy Whale or something in Tamil, or some joke actors. Nasim Raju in Kannada. We remember, no? Yeah. Very nice jokes and all. Such a person who's come here just to deliver us. Can't we remember him carefully one day in a year? That is this day. So remembering him, his instructions, and praying to him, my dear Lord, somehow you have come, you have delivered everyone else, please deliver me also. Make me also strict, determined to go back to Krishna. If you can make this one prayer to him, and we'll offer flowers to him, we'll do this Pushpanjali right after the class, he becomes very, very happy. Because his mood is to actually take all of us back to Godhead. That's why he came. He didn't come for his own, otherwise he didn't marry, he was very strict, so strict Vaishnava, right? And then he was like a role model for everyone, how a Vaishnava should be, that mode. And when he used to come, all the Mayavadis used to run away. You know, those people say, I am God. They used to run away because he will defeat left, right and center. That's why he was called Simha Guru, Lion Guru. He used to defeat them with logic. People used to get scared. Such a person, if you can remember him once in a day or once in a year, that's a great activity. We can do, right? Right? So that's this day. We just remember him, we can chant for him, we can actually chant his pranam mantra, which we'll do right after this. And by praying to him, thank you. And also take his message. His message is to deliver everyone. We take this and give it to one more person in our life. Somebody, please chant Hare Krishna. They become happy, he becomes happy. That's all it is. By pleasing him, we please Krishna. Yasya prasada, Bhagavad prasada. Okay? So, I'll end here. Maybe I can take one question if you have. Otherwise, we'll do Pushpanjali to Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Avibhav Mahamotsav Ki Jai. Any question? We should read that book. It's a nice book.
So, this Prajapati,
Okay.
I still believe that,
Prajapati?
I mean, like, you told Vaishya Vaishnavas follow that.
Prapati.
Prapati.
Yes.
But, I mean, at this point of time, we are not able to follow, we are not able to complete surrender. Okay, but in the future, we can surrender, right?
Yeah.
So, like, what do we do in the meantime?
What
do we do in the meantime?
Follow the process. Follow the process. The process is to actually follow the sadhana bhakti. The sadhana bhakti is basically chanting of Hare Krishna, following the four regulatory principles, and then be with devotees, inspire each other, read Srila Prabhupada's books. By doing all these things, your heart will change. You will get a desire to go back there. Right now we are actually interested to hear nice things, but still want a nice life here. We are not anticipating to go back there. Are we hankering? Are we thinking, my Lord, I want to come back to you, I am fed up of this place, I don't want this place? How much are we thinking? We are not. We might think for some time. The moment you go outside, somebody gives you a nice peda or something like that, we will forget everything. Other things can be later. Right? So we immediately think. Right after this, all these things talking, Ma, Prajale, go in there, what is there today? So we think like that, right? So that kind of mood, we are not yet there. But these acharyas are so much, no matter what you actually give them, they will not be attracted by anything in material world. They are totally fixed in spiritual world. So we have to come to that level. We are not yet there. But if you follow the sadhana bhakti, you will come to that stage for sure. Have that faith. Right? Any other questions? Yes.
He wanted to get fasting for 10 years, like he was chanting 3 lakh.
10 years?
For 10 years he was chanting 3 lakh rounds, sitting.
Oh yeah. So what really happened was, that's a good thing actually. It shows his determination. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, when he was actually, he had decided, he was actually a great astrologer. He had written the book called Surya Siddhanta. Such a great astrologer he is. But he said astrology is not going to save you. Krishna can save you. So he dropped all this, astrology and things like that. He had decided, I need to actually establish Krishna consciousness firmly in this world, so that all the living entities will be delivered. For that he was planning. When he started planning, his spiritual master, Gaur Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj, left the planet. He passed away. Then his father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he also left. He became very alone. So he didn't know what to do. He didn't have an authority as what has to be done, because most of the people were so engrossed in material life. Even if they go and worship the Lord, their expectation is that my family should be intact, my family should be happy, I should have a nice job, right? This was their mentality. Nobody actually even thought about, my Lord, I want to serve you. That mentality was not there. So he wanted some guidance. So for that he took a vow. He took not a vow, an oath, whatever it is. Like he said, I will do it till I die. He took a determination to chant 10 crore or 100 million. 100 million names of Krishna in 10 years. That's a lot of number. Continuously have to chant. And for that, he built a small hut and sat inside. And sometimes it used to rain, he just kept an umbrella, kept on chanting. For 10 years continuously chanted, non-stop. And whenever he wanted hungry, he ate little bit whatever was coming on his way. Not like what we eat. Right? So little bit, sometimes when the khichdi, little bit salt is there. Itna salt right? Like, no more, right? We are very taste conscious. He was not like that. He was very focused. And because of that, he became empowered to establish Krishna consciousness in the world. It's because of him actually, so many devotees actually getting the benefit of going back to Godhead. If he and Prabhupada actually are not planned and then did all these things, all the Lord's plan basically, but they were the instruments. Right? So 10 million names, how many of, or 100 million names, how many people can chant continuously? 16 rounds is 1728. Right? Hare Krishna mantra 1728. That itself is like a Hare Krishna. Right? So it's difficult, but they are so determined to chant so many names, and that's the reason actually he is empowered to do this. Right? So there are many pastimes. Actually, we have run out of time. Someday we'll actually hear about more of his pastimes, because the more you hear about his pastimes, you desire to go back. It's mentioned, if somebody actually hears Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur's pastimes or Srila Prabhupada's pastimes, your desire to be in this material world will slacken. You'll start hankering to go back to Vaikuntha. The more you hear about this acharyas, the more you will be determined to go back to Krishna. That is actually advantage of hearing about the acharyas. Yeah. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we will do this announcement. We will finish announcement first, then we will do the Pushpanjali. So we all